What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe down below. For those who aren't new, welcome back. So today's video is going to be a sit down video talking about my labor and delivery story with my almost 2-year-old son. His name is MJ. He will be turning 2 next month on the 17th, and he was born on 17th of April 2019. I just had turned 18 the year before and was turning 19 at the end of that year. So I did give birth to him at 18 years old, but I was pregnant with him at 17 years old. So yeah, let's just get into it because I already know this video is going to be a process. So before my due date that the doctors gave me, I was watching like a lot of YouTube videos about girls' labor stories, about their labor and delivery. I really wanted, because since he's my first, I really didn't expect, I didn't know what the pain was going to be like. I wasn't scared, but I was nervous because most of the girls on the videos were saying stuff like they really needed the epidural, like get the drugs if you can. Try go as early as possible so that you're not that dilated so you can get the epidural. But luckily I didn't need any of that. I gave birth naturally with just gas and air, and the pain out of a 10, if I had to rate it, I would rate it about, 10 out of 10. Yeah, but I mean, it's different for everyone. Some girls, you might need more. Some you might just give birth just naturally. Some girls you don't even know that they're giving birth because they're so quiet. But yeah, let's just get into the actual labor. So my labor started April 16th, the night of April 16th, which was the night before I gave birth. So yeah, it started around 8 p.m. I was feeling like mild contractions, but they weren't as painful that I really needed to go to the hospital. They were 20 minutes apart, and they would come and go in that hour. So probably in 1 hour I would get 2 contractions or 3, but they weren't painful. They were like period cramps. Yeah, and then I started getting discharge, which was my mucus plug coming out. So if you are pregnant or you're planning to get pregnant and you've researched about what happens during pregnancy and things like that, you would know that the mucus plug comes out when you're ready to give birth or ready to start pushing, or you're starting to dilate. So yeah, that came out right at the beginning of my labor. Yeah, it's a bit yucky, but if you know, you know. So it came out, and then I think it was 9 p.m. My contractions did start to progress, and that's the time my partner did come home. He came home, he just got off work. At that time I think he was working in construction, and yeah, he came home, and I was telling him I am starting to feel some tight cramps, in my back and in the lower part of my stomach. And he was just rubbing my back, because, and then, yeah, he just rubbed my back, and we fell asleep around 9:30, and I woke at 10 p.m. with really, really sharp pains at the bottom of my back. It was like someone was stabbing me in the back of a knife. Yeah, and so my contractions at 10 p.m. started, and that was more painful than the beginning of my labor. So I realized that I was starting to dilate and my labor was progressing more quickly. So I woke up my partner, and he told me to ring my midwife, which I did. I called her, and then she was asking me a couple of questions, did my mucus plug come out, has my waters broke? And at that time my waters had not broken, guys. It had you guys will hear when my waters break. Yeah, so she asked if my waters break, am I able to bear the pain, or do I feel like, you know, I'm unable to bear it? Do I need to go into a hospital? And I was like, no, you know what, I can do this longer at home, because she really wanted me just to go into hospital when I felt like I couldn't do it anymore, just so that I don't have to sit around in the hospital, because she was saying that a lot of girls, especially when it's your first baby, it takes longer for you to dilate, so your labor process is actually pretty long. So it's about, like, some girls, she said, you never know, it's about from 1 hour, maybe 24 hours, a whole day. Some girls it's 72 hours. Yeah, so she was asking me, you know, am I able to stay home until I can't bear it? I was like, okay. So yeah, I hanged up the phone, and an hour passed, so it was about like 12 p.m. and my mom had woken up. So she came in, you know, and I was telling her, like, I'm feeling really bad pains, like at the bottom of my back, at the bottom of my stomach, around my waist. And she told me, you know, go have a shower with lukewarm water and let it run on my back. It helps with the pain. So that's what I did. I hopped in the shower. It worked for about like half an hour, but then the pain, my contractions got worse, and then I could start feeling the pain more and more. So I stayed in there for about an hour, and then I turned off the shower, I dried myself up, and I came and laid back in bed. That time it was about 1 a.m. in the morning, April 17th, the next day. And I came and laid in bed, and I was just lying there, you know, and then I started feeling the contractions again. So at that time they were about 5 minutes apart, you know, they were starting to get more painful and more closer to each other. So I got up, and I felt very like lightheaded, and I did take 2 Panadols, and then I was just sitting on the bed, you know, in pain and trying to hold it in, because I'm the type of person, like, even if I'm sick or anything like that, I hold in my pain. I don't want anyone to hear me. So only my partner was there. Yeah, and then my partner was like rubbing my back. I would wake him up like every 30 minutes, every 20 minutes, and then I was looking at the time, you know, to see how far my contractions were, how far apart they were. So they were about 5 minutes apart that time. It was 1 a.m. and then I laid down and I went to sleep for about 2 hours. Woke up, it was 3 a.m. I woke up because my contractions were getting really bad, like I couldn't even sleep through them. So I knew that I was like dilating really fast. So I woke up, and I think I went to the bathroom, and I went in the shower again to see if the water would help the pain. So I was standing there in the shower, letting the water run down my back for about 20 minutes, and then I couldn't do it. And then I just hopped back out of the shower, dried myself up, came and laid back in the bed, and then I felt like really nauseous. I'm not too sure why. Maybe it's because I drank the medicine, maybe it's because like I was holding in my pain. I'm not too sure. So I got up, I sat on the bed, and I was just sitting there. And then I just ended up vomiting everywhere on the bed. And then I knew, like, it's because, you know, my body hasn't felt that kind of pain before, because he was my first child. So yeah, it's like a new thing, you know. My cervix was opening, and my body, because at that time I was 17 years old, so I was young, my body was still growing and things like that. So yeah, I vomited all over the bed, and then we cleaned that up. My partner cleaned it up, and then about around 5 a.m, I think it was 5 a.m, I rang my midwife again. She said, you know what, we'll meet at 7 a.m, we'll give it another 2 hours just so you can dilate more, because I know you're not fully dilated yet. And then we'll give it 2 more hours. At 7 a.m, we'll meet at the hospital so she could assess me. assess me, like see how dilated I am. So I was like, okay, you know what, that sounds like a good plan. So I hanged up the phone. That time it was 5 a.m. I was really thirsty, so I'm not too sure why, but the whole labor and delivery process, my mouth was like really dry and my lips were really chapped. I think it's because I couldn't really like breathe in between my contractions because they were so close that they just kept coming and it was so painful. So yeah, at 5 a.m. went and got some ice water to drink, came and sat back down, tried to get some sleep, couldn't sleep. Woke up my partner. He was just rubbing my back, you know, telling me everything's gonna be okay. He was trying to make me relax, because I was at that point I was really stressed. You know, I couldn't even like sit down. If I came and sit down, like a contraction would come, and then I would be really agitated and really like in pain. So 6 a.m. came, and then the contractions were just getting so bad, like I couldn't wait anymore. So I rang my midwife once again, guys, once again. This is like the third or fourth time I'm calling her. And she said, you know what, we'll just come down to the hospital and we'll just assess you right now because you're sounding like you're in really bad pain, so you must be dilating really fast. And I was like, okay. Woke up my partner. I was like, you know what, we have to go to the hospital now. And then he packed the baby bag, my bag, and the baby's car seat in the car, and then we drove to the hospital. Took us about 20 minutes to get there because where I stay is not that far from the nearest hospital or the hospital that I wanted to deliver at. Yeah, so we got there and then we headed up to the ward where they deliver the babies. Signed in at the reception and told them that I was there for maternal assessment, and then they put me in a room. I waited for my midwife to come. She came, she assessed me, and then she told me that I was already 7 centimeters dilated. So at that time she was really shocked because she didn't expect me, because I was a first time mom, she didn't expect me to dilate that fast. So I was already at 7 centimeters dilated, so I couldn't go home, because if you're 5 or more centimeters dilated, then you have to be admitted at the hospital because your labor has officially started. So they admitted me at the hospital, and then I was lying on a bed, and she said if I wanted to go and sit in the pool, you know, because she heard that I was in the shower and it helped me be more relaxed. So she said that would be more better. But she said, let me assess you more once again to see if you're more dilated. So she assessed me once again, and she said that I was 8 centimeters dilated. So she said, you know what, I don't think you have time to go and sit in the pool as you're dilating really fast, and I think that if you go in the pool you might give birth in there. And personally, it wasn't my plan to give birth by water birth. If you do it, I mean, it's great for you, but I feel like if I'm like really agitated and in pain, I don't like things like in my surroundings. It makes me really like anxious and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, you know what, that's fine. So I was lying there, and then she said, you know what, let's try gas and air. I said, okay. I tried gas and air. And that made me high. High, because you know, I don't drink and do things like that. So when I took the gas and air, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so I was doing gas and air, and then sometimes I would stop and start laughing really like start laughing a lot, and then the contraction would come and I would feel really overwhelmed, and then I would feel the pain of that contraction. So just a tip, if you're giving birth and you're on gas and air, keep doing the gas and air. So yeah, I was doing gas and air. About 20 minutes passed and she came to check me again. She said, excuse me, she said, oh, you're 9 centimeters dilated, nearly there. You're gonna feel the urge to push soon. If you feel like you need a push, just let us know. Don't try to hold it in. If you need a push, you need a push. I said, okay. and my partner was there right beside me the whole time, holding my hand while I was during this process. And I'm so grateful that we didn't end up doing this during this whole COVID, and that COVID wasn't there, just because that would suck really bad. Because I heard that if you're giving birth during COVID, that only you have to give birth on your own, or that only one person allowed in. So yeah, anyways, back to my story. So yeah, she said I'm 9 centimeters dilated. If I need to push, just push. So about another 20 minutes have passed, and I told her, you know what, I feel like I need to push. She said, okay, let me check you once again. So she assessed me once again, and she said, okay, I can feel that your cervix has opened fully and that it is time for you to push. So at that time I was like, okay. So yeah, the midwife told me that it was time for me to push. So I gave my first push, and she was like, you know, keep going, I can see the head. You know, her and my partner were just giving me like, you know, positive comments so that I would keep on pushing. I took some gas in here. Then I gave my second push, and that push I tried to push like all my strength. I really tried to push really hard. She was like, you know what, the head's out, come on, you can do it, keep on going. My partner was doing the same, and then I did one last push and he just slipped out. Yeah, so I gave birth with just 3 pushes, then he was out. I heard some girls, they had to like, you know, push for like 2 hours and things like that, but for me it wasn't really like that, probably because I dilated really fast. So then that's why he came out really fast as well. I was overdue, so that was probably why he really wanted to come out that fast. But yeah, that's basically my labor and delivery story, and the process of how I gave birth to my 2-year-old, almost 2-year-old son, MJ. Yeah, there wasn't really much. It was basically just like an in and out thing. So after I gave birth, we were there for like 5 hours, and then I went to a maternity unit for a couple of days, just because he was my first child and they wanted me to get used to, you know, being a first time mom. Skin to skin bonding time between me and him. So yeah, I got that. If you guys want to hear what happened there, please just comment down below, then I will give you a story time about that. But yeah, I did breastfeed for about 2 weeks, but then I just started bottle feeding because I felt like that just wasn't for me. But yeah, maybe my next child I will try again, but I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you also to everyone who has subscribed. If you're watching this, please subscribe, because I've seen that my viewers, most of them aren't subscribed, they just watch. So please subscribe. It's just, all you have to do is click the button below. That's all you have to do. If you don't want to, that's fine. If you do, thank you guys so much. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to my story and my journey. I love you guys so much, and yeah, God bless. Bye.